Hi all, it's PJ and welcome to the BabyLock and Bernina Serger Club preview. This is the preview for October and November. We have a 2-month project and we'll be doing the bog coat. If you are not familiar with a bog coat, the concept for this coat is over 4,000 years old, tracing back to the Bronze Age. Remnants of this style of garment were found in a peat bog in Denmark and preserved because of the conditions in the bog, and then it was carbon dated. And it's called a bog coat because of the location of the discovery. This coat or jacket is made from a single rectangle of fabric. What we'll be doing in October is determining the size that you will need for that rectangle. And all of this is based on 4 body measurements. What that means is you get to customize this to your exact size. It can be the length that you want, the width that you want, the sleeves can be the length that you want. It's really kind of ingenious the way that this all goes together. And there are only 2 major seams. This is a sample that I've done a little bit of extra to. I've added a collar and I've turned back the front. The 2 major seams really are the seam that goes down here, the sleeve seam, and then it goes across the body. Pretty much what happens is when this is an entire rectangle, you fold the sleeve down and you make a cut here for the sleeve up to this point. And then the fronts fold from the back up to the front. In this case, I allowed a little bit extra on those sides and I folded over the front to make this clean finished, but you don't have to. I consider this basic pattern kind of a jumping off point because you can do a ton with this. And I have some examples that I'll show you. Let's start with this. So this is just the basic bog coat with really no alterations at all and just the round neck. The samples that I've done, I did in polar fleece, but really you can use a bunch of different materials to do this. Like a wool coating is really nice, especially for the winter. Again, so this is just the basic. So here's some of the options that you can do. So on this one, I just rounded off the front. And these all have just raw edges that I've serged. This one, I did that seam in a 3-thread flat lock. And then I opened it out and I used just some fun variegated threads. But all the rest of this is just, it's all raw edge and then just finished with the serger. It's, I think, a great serger project because you get to play with all of those fun threads. This one starts with just the standard rounded neckline. And then I just tossed a little collar onto here. And you fold this back and you have just a little notched collar. Really easy. All of these samples, I didn't do anything to the sleeve width. What you can do is you can just take and you can angle the pattern up to make this more of fitted sleeve and not quite so baggy. But it's really all up to you, and that's to me what's kind of the nice thing. So there's one option, and then this is the option that we started with. This has just kind of a modified neckline, so instead of the neckline coming up like this, like a crew neck, I just trimmed it down to meet this seam, and then you have just a little bit of a different collar. It's not really a shawl collar, but it kind of has that look. And then again on this one, I just added a little bit extra here to make that finished at the front. This sample, I just call this a banded front. So the front of this, if I kind of pull the collar out of the way, your collar is here and here's your center front. So on this one, similar to the previous sample that I did where I just trimmed it here, I just kind of blended this off a little bit more and then just sewed the band on all the way around and up and over the top. So again, you can, just starting with a basic bog coat, you can do quite a few variations very, very quickly. And again, these just have serged edges. This one I think is quite fun. So this particular sample has an added band on the front, which will make this actually lap. And then just for fun, I just added, this is just a long strip, and I just serged it on around the tops, you get this fun little scarf detail that's all attached. You don't have to worry about losing it. And you could easily add snaps or buttons down here. For October, we will go through and I'll explain to you all the measurements that you need to take and how to figure out your rectangle and how to cut that. And I'll go into some more detail about how you measure for the different collars and all of that setup. And then in November, we'll do the construction and get to play with all of those fun threads. Let's get started.